calling to make sure I knew, to tell me that you were here and to get me to get in touch with you.
Yeah, oh, that was so nice. Yeah.
So, your grandfather, I think it was around 1981 or 2. I was away at college, but I came home and I had been working on the Plaskett Family.
Okay.
And when I started, because my grandmother is a Plaskett,
Oh, right.
and so I had started interviewing people in my immediate family, and then I sent out to everybody, every Plaskett in the phone book, I called and got their mailing address.
Oh my
And then-
goodness.
And then contacted them and sent them a form and said, tell me, because we didn't know. All we knew was 2 brothers came from Ireland or Scotland and everybody descended from that. That was the folklore in our family.
I see.
And so when I did that like when I was in maybe 9th grade, and then one year I came home from college and my father said, you gotta go meet this gentleman. I've been told about it, Victor Plaskett down in Puerto Rico. So we went down together and we interviewed him, and of course he was Jehovah's Witness.
Yes.
And your aunt Lillian. No, or was it Bernice? Who was living with him?
Well, Bernice also, she was in New York, came back.
I think it was Bernice who was living with him at the time. And I could go back and look because I have letters from both of them. But she was more so, you know, don't worry about the past, you don't worry about saving souls, blah, blah, blah. You know. So that was her focus. But he was happy to talk about the family. And so he gave me his information and children's names and everything. That's why I knew about your father. I never met him, but I knew him. And then I remember he said to me, what's your last name again? And I said, Jacobs. And he said, did you know Milton Jacobs? And at the same time, my father, and I answered, and I said, that's my grandfather. My father said, that's my father. And he said, well, I grew up with Milton. And we knew nothing about my grandfather except his name. And we had a family Bible that had his parents' names. My aunt had a family Bible that had his parents' names. And so he was the one who told us where my grandfather grew up in Frederickstead. He was the one who told us that my grandfather had a brother that nobody knew about, and who had died as a teenager. And he died of Hansen's disease, which is leprosy.
Leprosy?
And at that time there was still in the late 1800s there was still a leper colony here. And then he told us his name, which was Frank, and my father had a brother named Frank. And so now we knew that he got named after his uncle, but nobody knew. The story never got passed on. And so it was really an eye-opener for us because we knew my grandfather's family was from Frederickstead, but that's all we knew. So now all of a sudden they grew up in Cologne, he had a brother named Frank. Who died young. Right to me, and so it was always, you know, focus on the present. But very polite. You know, very, and so I treasure having some letters from him.
Which is a cousin I met like 4 years ago. Her name is Lorraine. And when we speak, you know, I was talking about the election back when Obama was first running. And I said, voting, I wanted everybody. And she says, we don't vote in the system. And then she gave me a long text of scriptures. And just everything about Jehovah God. And I said, well, I'm a Baptist myself. But it was okay. I didn't get upset. But she got a little, you know, uppy about it.
So you didn't grow up knowing your aunts and uncles?
Yes, I knew them vaguely though. You see, my mother and father separated when I was 3. I'm the firstborn. But I've been in touch with my father throughout the years. And so I didn't get to know much on his side. I've seen Aunt Lillian, the oldest sister. I don't know any of my uncles, Will or Victor. I met my grandfather, and he used to call me girl. And then I met my other aunts. I knew Aunt Alma. They were all up north, up to New York.
All right. Is anybody who picks up for Esther? And Esther was from the second marriage.
She's from the second marriage. She's the only one left.
I thought I had asked her that. That's what she said.
I was curious also about my grandmother, the first wife, my grandfather's first wife. I don't know anything about her.
If I remember correctly,
Her name even.
She said, I want to say McPherson. Let me go look for my computer, and then we can go into the library for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll look in there.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay.
So let me just finish one thing with Summer.
All
and
right,
then I'll
sure.
meet you.